Cloud's easier.
Okay, let's go. We're recording. We're live. All right. Well, welcome. Welcome to this micro teaching that we do through for our certification at Innate Wellbeing for the specialist program. I'm going to guide you on a little journey of my story. Um, I feel like I've lived many lifetimes now that I'm reflecting on this. There's like pockets of my journey that I kind of am reminiscing on. So um, I'm calling this one Leaving the Movie and Returning to Heart. So I'm Aaron Wisniewski. You all know me, so but whoever sees this does not. For the longest time, as long as I can remember, my mind has been so busy and so noisy. It was like a constant movie playing in my head all the time. I was always caught up in my thinking, but I never understood that I had the power to get up and leave that theater. I carried quiet anger inside of me, frustration, bitterness. I didn't know how to express myself honestly, deeply, and truthfully. I was consistently lying and cheating to myself, and I was running from my own feelings. The self-talk was brutal. It was dark, anxious, depressed, even filled with suicidal ideation. There were moments that I didn't want to keep going. I didn't trust myself. I self-sabotaged my entire life up until a certain point. I lived through drinking, doing drugs, relationships, always in flux, never really knowing a grounding. There was a general lack of awareness within me. I had zero comprehension of what awareness was. I thought I was in control of everything external. I had tunnel vision. I was trapped in either memories of the past or living in the future. I was never growing or moving forward because I was so afraid of success or even just peace inside me. What I didn't know back then was that a broader, deeper part of me was waiting to be seen. A part that I knew that I was more than just my thoughts. Living in the movie theater was something that I didn't know I could get up and leave, guys. I was just struggling. And when I found out that I could leave, it changed. We're going to go on a little journey and just go through my childhood and go through just what has happened, what I've done. So my childhood was filled pretty calm. I had two parents that were loving and kind. I had two sisters, one older, one younger. Normal, just kind of grew up, but I was really athletic, had lots of friends growing up, but I really didn't feel like I fit in. So I knew I was empathic and I knew something was different about me. I was really shy, wouldn't talk. Um, but something deep inside me was quiet. I was reserved. I didn't always know how to communicate or express my feelings. And that was one thing that was really kind of difficult for me. As a kid, I just loved being outside. But talking about my feelings, that wasn't for me. I was cool with not just purely avoiding everything that I possibly could about my feelings. Um, by the time I turned like 12 or 13, something shifted even in a way that was, I hear stories about this from my family, that as soon as I hit 12, 13, it was dark. Like the curtains went up and it was dark. And I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't know how I was feeling. I just knew that I didn't want to be here. So I started to drink and numb at a really, really young age. And it was really, my family has a strong addiction to alcohol. And it's well known in our family. We love to party. So I thought it was okay. That's how I started to escape. And then I started meeting friends in high school and we started smoking and drinking and partying. And that didn't really help the family situation because I've never been told, but I believe that my escapism, my darkness separated the family. It was never spoken about and no one will ever admit to it, but I know how dark I got. And I was unable to change or shift out of that. And I kind of fell into a scene where it was getting really bad and I was numbing more than I needed to. staying out late almost every night, working jobs, quitting jobs, going on tour with the band Fish. I would just jump on the road with them and just go. I loved it. I could drink, I could smoke, I could hide, I could just be hidden. But I knew at some point I needed to change that. And when I was about 20, I had an opportunity, 19, I had an opportunity to go up to Vermont with a friend, take a road trip. And he was going to look at a college just outside of Burlington, Vermont. And at that time, I was like, sure, let's go. I love taking road trips in Vermont, where my favorite band was from. So I was like, sure, let's go visit Burlington. Never been up there. And we went, had a nice time, chill trip, 8 hours there. And then he's like, let's go stop and visit my friend, my sister, in this small town outside of Saranac Lake called Paul Smith's. She was going to school at this college. And if you ever step into a place where you just feel absolutely home, have you ever gone to a location where you just know you're supposed to be? Well, this was it for me. This is where I'm going to go to school. This is where I'm going to spend the rest of my life. The stories that we told and we experienced there, I have a 2-year degree through Paul Smith College that I would eventually earn. But as I was there with my friend, I knew I had to be in this location. It was just someplace that I knew it was going to be. It's in the middle of the mountains, nowhere close to any town, 15 minutes from the closest town, but that town's small. It's a few hundred people, that's it. And I knew I had to be there. But I decided to commit and go to school there. I had no idea what I was going for. So I just signed up and went and eventually found out that I was trying to be a forest ranger. That didn't work out, but I went for recreation, which really helped me fall in love with the outdoors. But I knew I was supposed to be there, right? So you have that feeling, that nudge, that internal knowing that you're not sure what it is, but you're just there. And that's part of the journey when we start to listen and we tune in. Um, is that the universal mind? Is that what we're really trying to see within us? But as the journey went on, I found myself caught back into my thinking, trying to escape myself. So again, I was in another cycle of condemning myself, the harshness, the bitterness, the anger. But I was in the right place. I still knew I was. Um, that went on for a few years. That story kept going. I was never able to leave because I knew that movie was still running. Even though the location shifted, the movie was still playing. This was about 2003 when this was all happening. I decided to pack up and leave. I had an offer to go out to California because I wasn't doing well. Mentally, again, I found myself in the same loop. I ended up taking a road trip with some friends out to California, stayed and lived in Lake Tahoe, found myself a new life. Everything was changing. But there was always something, there's something guiding us to these places. And I never knew what they were, but I always felt safe no matter what I was doing. And maybe that's why the escalation of the thinking and the thoughts and the self-destruction will continuously happen. So there's a few cycles in my life that I can think of that were kind of should have been awakening, but I didn't allow for that time to happen. I didn't allow for that unfolding because I still couldn't sit with my emotions, my thinking. So again, I was in Lake Tahoe and living my best life, ski resorts. We went out there in March. Um, met some friends, couch surfing, living your life in the 20-year old, just kind of partying. And I found myself drinking too much. And we were all drinking and partying, having a good time. I decided to get behind the wheel. And when I did that, I was driving erratically. And I was stopped, DUI. Um, I actually got out of the car and started running from the cops. I ran into the store, bought a pack of cigarettes, came out, and they arrested me. They threw me in jail for the night. I woke up with so much shame and so much guilt. That should have been the opening, the awakening right there. And it did. It shook me. It shook me for a little bit. I knew I was going to have to pay a hefty fine, penalties. I lost my license, lost a few friends, started to clean up and started the program to really kind of get myself back on track. And after a few weeks, I found an opportunity to go do what I love to do is travel and party and hide. And on my way down to this music festival, I found myself in the backseat of a car filled with drugs. And I got arrested because they were all in my bag. They were all part of me. My ID was there. I got arrested. I was actually arrested and put away into San Jose County facility. I sat in jail for 2 weeks. I called my mom. She hung up on me. Called my dad. He hung up on me. It wasn't until time passed that someone eventually paid some kind of bail. I still to this day don't know who it was. Those are the little gifts that we get to get us out. We have to pay attention to those little gifts. We want to right our ship. This is another opportunity for me to really clean up my act and start to figure out what I needed to do. And again, that was another possible turning point, but there just it wasn't out of my system yet. It really wasn't. So after that, I ended up moving back to Buffalo, New York, where I live now. Um, got a job. Yay. Stopped listening to my intuition, stopped listening to those fun things that I like to do, which was being outside, being in community, being with friends. I started to slowly seclude myself and found myself kind of numbing a little bit more. I sobered up for a little bit after that, but it wasn't enough to kind of, get my head right. That's when fatherhood kicked in. I became a dad in 2009. I found some stability, realized that I needed to straighten up and do this for her. Um, my partner left when she was really young. 18 months in, I became a single dad, working, caring for my daughter, daycare. She was out of the picture for a couple of years. And I was doing this on my own, raising a 18-month-old young little girl. And I found myself back drinking. After being sober or somewhat sober, I found myself back into drinking just to stay above water, just to keep the thoughts at bay. The movie's still playing, and I never really understood that. Um, in 2014, a tragic accident killed my car accident killed my cousin, a good friend of mine, a cousin, my best friend. It sent shockwaves through our family. And when this happened, everything escalated. The family started to dissipate. The consumption of alcohol, depression, anxiety, it went rampant through our entire family. My cousin was somebody who would hold things together. And there's three male cousins that we've been friends and cousins, and he was part of it. And it started to kind of separate a lot more than just one single loss. And when it ripples through the family like that, it really kind of depletes and stresses and strains. And no one can really make sense of anything like that. The depression grew deeper, the anxiety grew darker. Sometimes I would hear voices. I started to wonder if I was bipolar. That manicness, the ups and downs, was just, it gave me nightmares, kept me up at night. I couldn't sleep. The thinking was so bad and so amplified. I didn't know what it was, and nobody could tell me what it was. No one had a diagnosis. No one would believe me that I was suicidal, that I was possibly bipolar. I self-sabotaged more than I can actually even explain. The anger inside of me, the hate that I had for myself, is something that I don't even know how to explain. At that point, I was living so many different lives within one body. The weight was crushing me. This was years to come. And then in 2021, I was applying for another job. And after several jobs, like I always thought, thinking, I knew I had to do the best for my daughter, my family, and so forth. I was applying for a job that was going to make me feel so good, like 200,000. I was working at an electric company and I was reading meters at the time, making 50,000 a year. And it was a great salary for a single dad, but I was tired. I was exhausted. I was drinking every day. At this point, I knew I hadn't taken a break in 10 years from any consumption. Um, I had a chance to really amp up and become a money-making person in my family. 200,000 to be a lineman in the United States is really good money. Well, I self-sabotage that too. I took that one down. I didn't believe in myself. I found a way out of it. I hurt myself. I didn't talk to anybody about it. And then I just said, I couldn't do this. My partner at the time was so upset. Said, I'm leaving. She's like, you're leaving 200,000, 200K on the table. I said, yeah, I don't feel good. I just does not feel right. I do not feel right. This is when I started to really, really look into my well-being and started trying to really understand like what is going on. Like something, if money isn't my motivating factor, what is? And right around that time, I had an opportunity to start to purchase some properties with the partner I was with. Well, one of the obligations to purchase properties within and be in partnership with an LLC, you need to have life insurance. Well, life insurance offered me an opportunity. It offered me an opportunity for a way out of living here, being here. At that point, I no longer wanted to live. I found a way to get out and leave my kid money. 250,000 would be just enough to get her by schooling, college, until she settled, right? Until I read that fine print, suicide's not allowed. You cannot take your own life to receive this money. I said, what am I going to do? I have to be here. I don't want to be here. So after I failed, quit, left that job, I went for a nice, long 3, 4 day hike in the woods, backpacking, 20 something miles. All I need is on my back, food, water, nature around me. I was plotting. I was plotting my death. I no longer wanted to live. Halfway through my hike, I stood at the gorge of the Genesee River. Some may have heard of it. It's Letchworth State Park in New York State, one of the most beautiful places of all. Stood at the edge. I looked down. I could see vultures swarming. Cliffside, over 100 feet. Class 4 rapids at the bottom. No one would find me for days. Sat there, crying. Some spoke to me. Some said, go home, turn around, finish your hike. I did. Turned around. I went home. I started to pay attention to my well-being, realizing that the movie was not over. It wasn't going to end here. I didn't understand what that voice was. Over time, I've come to listen to it. I slowly began to see that my thinking was not my story. I was able to free myself. Over time from 2021, to 2023, 24, I slowly worked on my well-being, praying, meditating, looking within, understanding why I was thinking this way. It wasn't until 2024 when I found this program, Innate Well-Being. What? What is this all about? I got curious. It said, you can change your life in a thought. I can get down with this. This is something I've been looking for. I started to realize what it was all about because I had that feeling within me, but I couldn't understand or explain it. There's a certain guidance within us that if you just listen, it'll show up for you. But you have to be willing to listen to it. This shifted something deep within me, a trust, a knowing. I started to let go of the old story and lean into the curious, into the curiosity, meditation, the prayer, the understanding. When I started to listen to these programs, I would listen to them at night. I would fall asleep to them. I would wake up feeling so refreshed. I couldn't make sense of it and I didn't understand, but I knew there was a feeling within there. My life started to change even more, quicker, faster, rapidly. I found myself in a position to grow. As a coach, I committed to coaching. I committed to telling my story. I didn't know how. I just trusted that inner knowing that I knew I had to be here. This course has really kind of set me on a path that has helped me understand my true worth, that your well-being is innate. It's within you at all times. It's just a matter of pausing your thought and listening up, listening in and tuning in. So over time, I got curious about how to explain this teaching and metaphors and through conversations with my friends here. We're slowly able to unwrap some of the confusion behind trying to explain it, but it's led me to just open up about my story and be myself. But something that's come to mind with this understanding is that three principles, mind, thought, and consciousness, gave me a new map, a new way to navigate my inner world and this understanding. And I'm going to call this one head to heart. So I had an opportunity to reverse the three principles and the thinking and the story behind telling the three principles in innate well-being. And it involves looking at mind, consciousness, and thought in reverse and turning it to thought, consciousness, and mind. This gives us an opportunity to look at how we perceive our lives. And with our thoughts and our mind, our heads, our brain, our thinking, it's always constant. We always have those thought bubbles constantly going on. We have a chance to kind of move through it in this metaphoric way. So with thought being the thinking mind, the brain, we're able to connect consciousness, which would be our throats. So as we travel down from our thoughts, thinking mind into our awareness, Cindy Banks has always said, consciousness is a bridge to the universal mind. The throat is the bridge to your universal mind, which is your heart. So when your mind gets too busy and you're looking for that feeling, the bridge of consciousness will drop you into your universal mind, which is your heart, your thinking. It's really helped me understand the three principles in a way that I can explain that feeling. Because once you understand that feeling, that gratitude, that love, the kindness, the truth, it softens you. It brings you into an understanding that you're okay. If you can bypass and move through your thoughts, knowing that they're always going to be there, but that space in between your thinking is the peacefulness. And if you're able to drop into that love of your heart, that feeling, that knowing, there's truth there, there's kindness. And the hurt that I did to myself has been repaired by forgiving who I am. The journey I've traveled, I told you earlier, that feels like thousands and thousands of miles to get to this point of self-love and reflection, to bring it to the stage with you sitting here, to be able to teach it in a way and express it in an understanding. That is the three principles of innate well-being. That's my metaphor from head to heart. It's kind of come up over the last few weeks. It's a different take. It's an inside out look at innate well-being and the three principles. So with that, I'm going to invite you for a reflection. I invite you to now ask yourself, where are you still caught in your head? The story, the fear, the noise. And what might happen if you allow yourself to cross the bridge of awareness and rest in your heart? What would freedom feel like for you? So 333. I used to believe healing was about fixing. Now I know it's about softening, forgiving the stories, the pain, the self-judgment, and trusting that our well-being is innate. I am not my thinking. I am whole, loved, and free, and always have been. This is the essence of innate well-being, and I'm honored to walk the path and share it with you all. And at the start of this journey, I shared how I used to live like I was trapped inside a movie, one filled with fear, anxiety, doubt, shame, depression, addiction. I didn't know I was the audience or the actor, and I could get up and leave at any time. The scenes that used to run on autopilot are all gone. I don't subscribe to that anymore. I don't have to accept a script that I don't want to listen to. I don't have to stay in the film that isn't rooted in love, truth, or presence. The greatest shift came when I forgave and trusted deeply. I got up, I walked out, I chose to live. And now I'm here to help others do the exact same thing. It's fun being awake. It's fun being aware. For the first time, I love being with myself, in my emotions, in presence, in good company, no longer hiding. It's fun to share this story. It's hard for me to listen to it, but it's truth. I punished myself for no reason, but it was to tell this story, to be here present, to help shift somebody else's awareness. That's what this is all about, to help others to be in service. I'm no longer for myself. That's my story, guys. Thank you for showing up. I appreciate it. Is there any reflections, questions, comments? I will now step aside and just unmute and go ahead.
I'll speak up first. Oh my gosh, in all the conversations that we've had, this I did not know the story. I just little bits and pieces. Beautifully done, Aaron.
Thank you. I don't share. It's part of me that's hard to talk about. And that's the reflection piece that I've been going over the last few weeks. And it's exhilarating. It allows me to be freer than I was before. So thank you. Yes, it's a lot. Mhm. Thank you, Vanna.
I'll go. I tell you, I know I've told you in many occasions, whether it was in person or through a message that I've sent on Messenger, there's something that's just truly magical about you. Your story, I resonate with a lot of pieces of your story. Um, you just have this beautiful nature about you. And I'm so glad that you chose to listen to your wisdom and turn around and go home because, man, Aaron, this world is lucky to have you. This world is lucky to have you to guide those souls that feel that way, that you can connect to them on a different level that some of us cannot. I mean, you're truly inspirational. That was absolutely beautiful. And yeah, I don't even know what else to say because I was just so, wow, powerful.
Thank you,
Good
Crystal.
job.
Thank you so much. Appreciate your
Yeah.
words.
Yeah, I wanted to say that by the time you were done with your story, there was just so much peace infused in everywhere. It was incredible.
Thank you, Jen. Thank you so much. I'm glad you experienced that. I'm a bit emotional, but thank you. Thank you so much.
No, it was good. I actually need to go now, but it was good to be here. Good to
Appreciate
see
you.
you. Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Erin, that was amazing. Thank you for sharing your story. Thank you for taking us on a journey. And thank you for listening to your wisdom and turning around because you have so much light to spread. And you're going to do amazing. You're going to be an amazing coach and help so many people. And just being you help people more than you know. And I'm very grateful that you are here, and I'm very grateful to have been a part of this and here with you. So thank you.
Thank you so much, Jen. Appreciate you.
I only fully agree with what everyone else has said. Um, but I just also wanted to pick up on something that really resonated with me, and that was changing locations. But the cycle's still repeating itself. Because it's something I've definitely had a lot of in the past, jobs, places. Um, and it was something that just really resonated with me, and just grateful you did turn around, Darren.
Thank you. Yeah, it's like we're chasing something to move, right? We're always trying to seek that new life, but really that's not out there. That's the inside of us. Yeah, thank you, Jane, for sharing.
Just like to echo what everybody else has said, that so much power in that story, Aaron. It was amazing. The way you presented it was very measured, excellent. And the one thing I noticed about that head to heart metaphor, I'd never even noticed it before, but thought, consciousness through all our senses that are all gathered here through our hands, and then to universal mind at the heart. It's a picture that's just right in front of you. It was beautiful, beautifully presented. Thank you so much.
The beating heart is the conscious universal, right?
Yeah. Well done.
Thank you. Thank you, Steve. Appreciate it. Thank you all. This was amazing. I appreciate y'all showing up for me. It means the world. Thank you for all the kindness. I don't know where it goes from here, but it's up. If there's anything else you want to discuss, anything, talk about anything, the floor is open. It's up to you. If not, we can scoot a little bit early, wrap it up. It's up to you guys. I'm spent. But if not, we're good. Is everybody happy? Yeah. Thank you all. All right. Thumbs up from everybody. Cool. All right. Yep. Thank you so much. I appreciate y'all. We'll see you in the next meeting. Jen, everyone, see you tonight.
Yes.
All
All
right.
right. Thank you.
All right. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, Aaron.
You're welcome. Thank you guys. Do I have to hit stop record or anything?
No.
It just ends automatically.
Yeah, when you end the meeting, it stops recording.
Okay. Thank you so much. Love you guys. Bye.